The Joe Rogan Experience.
I love Andre Ward for a bunch of reasons, but one, for the fact that that guy, undefeated, gold medalist, 2-division world champion, goes, you know what? We're good. Walked away.
Yeah.
Just walked away.
And I sense that he will stay away.
Oh, yeah. He's going to stay away. You know, they talked to him about Canelo after Canelo knocked out Kovalev, and he made this long statement about that he's better off for boxing, even for boxing, outside of fighting. You know, he knows. Like, he's so smart, man. He's so smart and so disciplined. He's just so disciplined. He knows. Like, there's no reason. There's no reason to come back. This is the right way to do it. There's big money in coming back, but there's also big brain damage.
The ego after you retire is the biggest fight of your life.
Yeah.
Like, man, you're exactly right. This guy's undefeated.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you were to talk to him off camera, I could beat Canelo. Like, you know what I mean? Of course, he must think that just because of who he is. You got to think that. So to stop yourself from the money, the glory one more time, the possibility of, could you imagine coming out of retirement and beating like Canelo Alvarez? To be able to be like, you know what? It's better for me and it's better for boxing if I stay retired and keep sitting ringside and talk about these fights in the way I do. That's a special kind of character.
He's a special person. But he also has this issue with his right shoulder. You know, his right shoulder was basically broken most of his career. And he got it fixed before the second Kovalev fight. And he actually wound up hurting Kovalev real bad with a right hand. Which, if you watch his career, he was like a left-handed fighter. For the majority of his supraspinatus was like ripped off. Like, it was really fucked up. And he tried to rehab it with bands instead of going through surgery when he was young. And so most of his career, he beat the best fighters in the world. Carl Froch, all those guys, one-handed. Which is even more insane. Even more insane. And then, you know, had the surgery, rehabbed it, but he said it's still not 100%. It's probably never going to be 100%.
Right, which is why people are afraid of surgery. It's like, you know, I'd rather do the bands and everything than take the chance.
But it's better than it was before. I think before he had like 40% use of his shoulder, which is crazy.
Yeah.
He said he never felt like he could throw a good punch. He always felt like it was going to blow out on him.
Jeez.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah.
Fucked everybody up with one hand.
That's how you make yourself a legend.
Oh yeah, he's definitely a legend.
Jeez.
But I mean, maybe an underappreciated legend. You know, in terms of mainstream boxing viewpoint, I don't think the mainstream public really appreciates how great he was.
No,
and the way
in his time or after, it will take like people reflecting on history. I think, unfortunately for him, his kids and their kids might get the benefit of who their dad or grandfather was more so than he's getting it now.
Yeah. Well, there's certain great fighters that, for whatever reason, they never really captured the public's imagination, even though they were great. You know, like Marlon Starling, who was a fantastic welterweight, knocked out Mark Breland, who was actually now Deontay Wilder's trainer. But I remember when Mark Breland was coming from the Olympics, and, you know, he was this really long, tall welterweight, and he fought Starling, and Starling wasn't really wasn't appreciated enough. And Starling put it on him. And you realize that there's guys out there that, for whatever reason, people don't appreciate them as much as they should.
Yeah, timing's everything. Also, you got to catch. It's unfortunate, but as much as we hate just guys putting on an act or like hyping themselves up with these characters they create, that is bankable. I mean, we all know guys who don't deserve the shots that they continue to get, but because they bring an audience with their shit talking or with their antics and all the show that they put on, it's better than the fight.
Yeah. You know who's the most confusing to me is Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. He's confusing to me. Like that last fight, I'm like, what are you doing? Like you're saying, like the guy headbutted me, my nose is broken, I'm quitting.
Right.
I was like, what are you doing? Do you not understand? You're Mexican. Like, those are the hardest motherfuckers on earth when it comes to boxing.
You're not just Mexican.
You are the son of the man. You're son of the guy. Like, he won something like 31 world title fights. Some insane number. He has the record of world title wins.
Which is also like an unattainable goal. If you decide to go into boxing and your father is Julio Cesar Chavez.
Dude, one of the GOATs.
What do you hope to,
Oh my God.
how far can you hope to get in legacy? Like, I almost feel bad for the guy, like, because there's got to be so much going on in his head to put him in the place where he's at.
But yet he's talented. He's a good fighter. Like, his skills, his ability to put hands on people are very good. But I think also there's something about growing up wealthy. It's just almost impossible. Like, you kind of have to have some part of your life that was fucked up and you didn't think it was going to work out. Where you didn't think there was a future, and there's a burn that never goes out. There's like a little fire that never goes out.
Ease is a greater challenge than adversity.
Yes, it is, man. There's something about comfort that just makes bitches out of people. It just does. It's so hard to overcome that. You can't even forcibly remove yourself from that comfort. It's very few human beings are able to really achieve greatness when they grow up with great wealth and privilege. It's something about that life of leisure and knowing that everything's going to be okay. You know, like your dad made $50 million. You're going to be fine. You know, there's something about that just, for whatever reason, it just haunts people.
Yeah, I mean, he would almost have to there'd be something burning brightly inside him, almost like a resentment for his father, unfortunately.
Right.
I don't think love could propel you to, like, even come anywhere near his legacy. Like, you'd actually have to hate the guy just to be, like, fire burning bright enough to attain anything close to what he did.
And I feel bad for his dad, too. You know, his dad watching him quit. I'm like, oh no.
But he's a loving father, man. It's not the first time he's been embarrassed. Like, he keeps coming back. Like, all right, this is the one. This is the time. One more.
The Canelo fight was a rough one too, but Canelo outclassed him. You know, Canelo was just a better fighter.
And Chavez not a quitter. Like, at least like this last time. He may have had a point, like maybe he was like headbutt, maybe the elbows, but quitting in boxing obviously is the cardinal sin.
It wasn't that fucked up. It wasn't like his nose was pouring blood and he couldn't breathe out of it anymore and it was from a blatant foul. Like, he looked okay, right? I mean, maybe there was something going on that we couldn't see, but he looked okay. And then he was, took videos from the hospital the next day with tape on his nose and like, bro,
right,
lay
he was
low.
not helping.
Lay low for a while, bro. Yeah.